Hi everyone, welcome back to Skills for Chasers. So my name is Amit. So let's start with the Chase 4. So in this Chase 4, we are going to take the e-commerce analysis a step forward. So I'll request everyone who have not watched the Chase 3, please make sure you have watched the Chase 3 in order to make this learning super efficient. Now in this, while doing the e-commerce analysis, we all are going to learn some of the features of Power BI where we will understand how we do the page formatting. We are going to understand how do we make some more charts like scatter plot, and we will be talking about tables. And then we will also see how we can add the feature of slicers so that end user can actually play with the data and he can slice and dice the data based on the reports that I shared with them. So let's get started. So here we have this report that we all created in the Chase 3, where we did some analysis to understand time series analysis, how the sales have happened across the different states of United States. We saw how to make a donut chart and create a column chart in this. Now I would like to add some more analysis to this report, but I can clearly see that I am falling short of space. I don't have more space to add some more charts over here. So what I do in that case is I am going to use the option of page formatting. Now for page formatting, make sure none of the chart is selected. When no chart is selected, you will see this format option that we have. This is actually going to come for the page itself. So let's click on this. Now over here, we will see a lot of options to play around with the look and feel of this entire page itself. I will click on Canvas settings. And over here, there is a default setting where they have defined a ratio of 16:9, according to which the page is designed. We will click on this. If you want to bring the page format into 4:3 ratio, letter kind of a style, or a tooltip kind of a style. So these are different formats in which the page can be shown. I'll go with the option of custom. Now in the custom, you can define the height and width as per your own preference. I'm going to keep the height of, so you just have to click in this. I'm going to keep the height of 1000. So see, my page height has increased. I'll keep the width of around 1350, or maybe, I think we can keep it around 1450 to have a good amount of space on the right side as well. So now I can see I have got more space in order to accommodate more number of charts on this page itself. If we scroll down a bit, you will see there is an option of canvas background. So in case you want to add some background color or you want to add an image in the background of this report, we can very easily do that up. So let's change the color. Let's choose some color which is like a yellowish color. So now when you choose a color from here, you might see that the color has not changed. So the reason for that is transparency. So you will see over here, the transparency is 100%. That means it's completely see-through over here. So we will reduce that transparency over here. So we can see the shade of yellow is now clearly visible over here. So that's how we have increased the page size and we have added some background color to add little more formatting touch to this report. So now everyone, we are going to add a chart over here, which is a scatter plot. A scatter plot is a chart which we use to see the relationship between two numeric variables. So let's first of all understand that scatter plot with a small example. Everyone, you can see the scatter plot on my screen. So as we were discussing, scatter plot is something which we use to see the relationship between two numeric variables. So we can see over here, we have a variable which is experience, now which is numeric, right? Experience is in the form of a number. We have salary. Now I can see that, in the scatter plot, you will have X and Y axis, and you will see some small bubbles over here, which represents the values. So I can see, like, for example, when the experience is around 4 years, the salary the person are getting, they are somewhere around lying little bit above a 60,000 or near to 60,000 over here. So as I can see, the bubbles are going in the upward direction. So that tells me that there is a positive relationship between experience and salary. So that means as the experience is increasing, the salary is increasing. Now, over here in this chart, something very important to understand over here is there is a concept of dependent and independent variable. So now experience over here is something which is independent. And salary over here is something which is dependent. So what do I mean by that? This means if the experience will change, that's when the salary is going to change, right? So if my experience will increase, that's when my salary is going to increase. So can I also say that if my salary will increase, my experience will increase? No. The answer is no for that. So basically what happened is scatter plot is something which follows the linear equation that we all studied during our board exams, right? That was y equal to mx plus c. So in this y equal to mx plus c, so what is y? Y is something which is called as dependent and x is something which is called as independent. So when we change the value of x, the value of y changes. Now that relationship can be, positive, negative. That is something which we identify when we create the charts. So we follow the same practice in the visualization as well. We keep independent on the x and dependent on the y. Now, in our analysis over here, what we would like to do over here is we would like to see what is the relationship between sales and profit. Now, when we talk of sales and profit, so definitely profit is something which is dependent on the sales, right? So when the sales will happen, that is when I will be able to generate some profit. So let's come to the visualization. So we'll click over here. So because we were earlier on the page formatting, so we click over here, come to the visualizations. And from here, we have to select this chart. See, this is the chart which is called as scatter plot. So when I click on this scatter plot, we will see a structure of that scatter plot has come up. And again, over here, we will be able to see x-axis, y-axis, value. So you will see quite a few options over here, and we are going to make the use of all of them. So I'll expand orders. So what do? I want to see sales versus profit. So I'm going to pick sales, put it on the x-axis because this is independent. I'm going to put profit on the y-axis. And we will see in this chart, we have got one single bubble, right? Because it's the aggregation of total sales and profit. Now, what I would like to do over here is I would like to see how the sales and profit was happening for all the different customers. So I'm going to pick the field of customer ID and put it in the values. So now that's where what will happen is the chart will actually scatter in the form of sales and profit for each customer. So I can see now quite a few bubbles have come up onto my screen. Now let's try to understand what insights do I get from this chart. Now on this chart, if I come up, I can definitely see that, as the sales are increasing, the profit is increasing. So I can see a positive correlation. Plus, I can see most of the customers are residing in this area. That means majority of the customers have given me sales till 5,000 and profit between, around 0 to 2,000. If I talk in the positive side, I can also see there are a lot of customers who have given us losses. So because profit is going on the negative side as well. So quite a few customers have given losses in the range of -1 to 2,000 as well. Now, this chart is something which also help us to identify the outliers. What are outliers? Outlier means a value which is behaving very differently from the rest of the data. So like if you see right now, I can see there is a customer ID which is lying over here. We can see this customer has given us good amount of sales, but a loss. Similarly, I can see this is one customer who has given us high sales and high profit. So definitely this is a good customer for us. But since there is only one such customer, so this is considered as an outlier. So that's what we understand from this chart. So we are able to see the relationship between the two variables. Plus, we are also able to identify the outliers from this. So now what I'll do is I'll go to my previous chart. I'll copy the format. I'll click on Format Painter and I will apply that formatting on this chart. So we have got the similar look and feel over here on this chart right now. Now in the scatter plot, if you scroll down in the options, you also have an option of legend. See, legend means color coding. So for example, if I want to identify which customer is from which region, so what I can do, I can pick region and put it on the legend. So we will see a color coding coming up on this chart, right? So there are 4 regions, so I can see each customer belongs to which region. Although it's not looking very fruitful to me because we have so many customers, so definitely, the colors are looking a bit cluttered in this. So I'll remove it from here. We also have the option of size. So for example, if I drag the quantity on the size, so you will see the size of the bubbles has changed, right? Bigger the bubble, high quantity was purchased by the customer. Smaller the bubble, the lower quantity was purchased by the customer. But now if I go to the formatting of this chart, so if I'll go in the markers option, so marker means the bubbles that we see. Over here, I am going to reduce the size of this. See, because bubbles are looking too big right now, so you can reduce the bubble size so they look little more decent when we present this report to someone. See, so that's where what I have done now is I have reduced the bubble size over here to a much smaller size. So they will reduce in a proportion, right? Proportionally, they will go down. Now, in this scatter plot, you also have an option. So if I click on data point, you also have an option of play axis. So for example, let me drag region over here on the play axis. See, this is something which is going to give you a little bit of an animation effect. See, you will get a play button over here. If I click on play button, you will see the chart is moving. So one by one, what is happening is the region is changing. So it's like filtration is happening. So region is changing. So for that particular region only, the data is shown to us. So this is useful in case you have to give some presentation or you have to put this chart somewhere on your website. So that's where this feature can be really, really helpful for you guys. So for now, I'll remove this feature again. This was just for the purpose of understanding. So my chart is ready. The next chart that we're going to add over here is that's going to be a table. Now this is where you will find your table. See, table is something which we use if you have to show your data in a simple tabular format. So if I click on this, you will all be able to see the information as, I can see the table structure has come up. Now let's do one thing. Let's bring category in the columns. So I will be able to see all the categories over here. Now in every category, there were different segments that were used. So let's pick up the segment. So I'll put the segment in the same option of columns. So now the chart splits every category with segment. And I would like to understand how much sale had happened. So I can drag the sales. I can drag the profit. I can drag the quantity. So see, this is a normal tabular format. If you would like to create something like this, we can do that. So if I bring it in the focus mode, so that's how you will see. This is how the table looks now to me, where I can see category, segment, sales, profit, and quantity. Now, in case you want to change the sorting, so if you just click on the headers, see the sorting can be changed by just one single click. So by whatever field you would like to sort the data, just click on the headers. Ascending and descending can be done just with one single click on this table. Now with the table, what also happen is if you go in the formatting, you will see there is an option of totals. See, in the table, you also get totals at the bottom. In case you don't want to show the totals, you can turn it off. You want to show it, keep it on. And if you scroll down, there is an option of specific column. So right now, if you all will see this table, the numbers are a bit non-readable, right? Because the numbers are big. So a person will have to spend a lot of time to understand what exactly that number is. So if you click on specific column, now you have to choose column by column over here. So now if I select the column of sum of sales, and I will say apply all my settings to header to as well as total, I would like to use the display unit as thousands. See, now my sum of sales will be shown to me in the 1000 format. If you want to control the decimal places, you can do that as well. You want to make 0 decimal places, 1 decimal places, or you want to do the alignment in the center. See, now numbers look a little better. Likewise, I'll go to the part of sum of profit. I'll repeat the same steps, apply to total, apply to header, right? And I will change the alignment to center, change the display units to thousands. And quantity, anyhow, I can see is on a smaller side. So I'll just change the alignment of that so that that is also center aligned. So I will click on sum of quantity, apply to total, apply to header, and I'm going to keep just the alignment in the center. So that's how my table is ready, where I have done a very simple basic formatting to make my table look bit presentable. So now on this report, everyone, we have got 6 charts. Now on this chart, I would like to add some slicers. See, slicer is something which is going to give the end user a functionality to filter the data and just focus on the data that he wants to look upon. So let's go to the visual pane. If I click on this, make sure this chart is not selected. Now I'm going to pick my slicer from here. See, the slicer option is something which you see over here. So if I click on this, a slicer will come. Now in this slicer, I would like to add region. So now you will see all my regions are visible in this slicer. If I select central, all the charts will filter out and show me the data of central region only. If I click on south, the filter will change. If you want to make multiple selection in the slicer, you can press Control key. If you press Control key, and you can make more than one selection as well. Let's add one more slicer over here. So I'll click on slicer again. And in this slicer, I would like to add my field of shipping mode. Now that's way we have got 2 slicers in this. And if you want, you can also do some formatting on the slicers as well. See, if I select this slicer and if I go into the formatting, here you have the option of slicer settings. So if you want to change the style to a tile format, see, tile is something you will see small boxes. So slicer will come in the form of a boxes. You can show it in the form of a drop down. So whatever is convenient for the look and feel, you can do that. So let's right now keep it in the form of a vertical list. In the selection option, if you want to make your slicer single select, that means user can select only one value at a time. You can just make it single select. See, the option will look like a radio button now, right? So now I will be able to select only one value at a time. If you turn it off, so it becomes a multi-select. If you want to ensure that a user should be able to select multiple values without pressing Control key, we can turn this feature off over here. So now even without pressing the Control key, a user will be able to select multiple selections in the filter. So now if you see, I just click, multiple selections are selected. If you want to give select all option, you can turn that option on. So now you will see I have got a select all option as well over here within this slicer. So that's how we are able to add some slices and give a functionality to the end user where they are able to now slice and dice the data as well. So in this chase, we'll keep the thing still here. So I hope you all would have enjoyed it. So let's meet in the next chase where we will be taking this analysis to a next level and we will be learning more functionalities and features of Power BI. So everyone, please make sure you attempt the quiz in the last and share answers in the comment box, and do like, subscribe this channel if you like this video. Thank you everyone.